So this is race one from last weekend on Saturday at Buttonwillow. It's a really long one. I'm only going to talk during the in-car video when the audio is a little rough. It's so long because Daryl was right in front of me for the whole race, so gets a lot of good shots. Also, the way the video is recorded, Daryl had his kids out there all rooting him on. That's what those two shots are about. The way the video is recorded is the in-car cameras are in the green areas, which are out of view of the external camera, and the blue areas are where the external shots are from.
Should be coming around any minute. I hear them. These cars coming off.
So that was the start of the race from the outside, obviously from the stands where Carrion's shooting from, actually from the control tower right there on the left. So I started from inside. I kind of moved to the outside since I'm out there already, just to kind of stay out of the way of any chaos down here on the inside. Sunrise, turn one, but somehow the names seem to help remember coming into the off ramp right here, and I almost nailed that FC in the back because the accordion effect of everybody stopping there. But all in all, off to a decent start. There's a lot of time left, so we'll see how it goes. Coming out of Cotton Corners and around Riverside, as the caption indicates, and now we've left there and I'm going over Phil Hill, down into the part of the track the spectators can't see, and this is Sweeper. Sometimes we go straight down to Star Monster, but this is the Sweeper today. Right in front of me is a red and white FC. It takes him a couple laps to get past Daryl, and that's okay by me. The cars behind me I don't think can keep up, and that turns out to be not quite true later on, but we'll cover that in a minute. Exterior shot on the front straight showed there's a red and white FC behind me, Horinda. I didn't realize he was back there. I thought the quicker cars had gone by. And the truth is, he was a little quicker, much quicker in the corners and stuff. And Daryl and I probably should have been in front of us. I'm not sure why he started behind us. But anyway, didn't really realize he's back there. I'm just waiting for this guy to clear in front of me so I can chase Daryl down. It turns out we scare Horinda to death and he backs off later in the race, so he never did pass us. There was, I think we started 10th and 11th, whatever I said, and we end up, Daryl ends up 6th and me 7th, and I don't know what caused the carnage. Right there you saw Daryl getting passed by that FC, and you saw Daryl was quite wide. For some reason he thought that was the way to do that turn, but of course he was getting out there in the marbles and very slippery and not comfortable for him. And I thought I'd pass him that way, but I was just having a good time chasing him and watching him and learning, and hopefully he'll be able to study this and learn a lot himself from it. And as that said, we're at the sweeper. We're headed down to the final corner here, sunset, and we'll switch to external video and audio. Probably confuse you guys, but I messed up the data and video syncing, and so we're off by a lap. It says lap 2 there. This is actually the 3rd lap we're on, and it'll be all that way the whole race. But this clip should be an external view of us coming out of Cotton Corners.
Go, baby, go. You can do it. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Yes, go, 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 sweetheart. Go, go, go.
Looking up here as we enter Riverside, in that previous clip, you might have been able to hear Lenny. Whoa, forgot about that. Daryl surprised me there. I got a little slow there, and I touched the brakes and almost made it really ugly. Don't make that mistake again. At least not the brakes and all. And then right behind Daryl, they couldn't see all this. On that previous clip, you might have heard Lenny talking to Daryl on the radio and tell him that it was just he and I now. And then you also heard my wife there telling me to hurry up or something like that if that final hurt. And this is the coming out of the sweeper, headed down to Sunset again onto the front straight for another clip there. Got a couple glimpses of, Daryl's way out there this time. Miranda, you probably caught a couple glimpses of too in his red and white FC behind us again. And he probably wondered what the hell we're doing, because I was certain Daryl was going to spin out or go flying off the track in front of me. He was so far out there, so I was being real careful and couldn't get up enough momentum to pass him down into here. And again, I'm thinking he would watch me in his mirrors and move in a little closer. And he does later on in the race, but he was feeling the pressure, and I thought that was good for him too, so I really wasn't too worried about passing him at this point in the race. It turns out I never get by him.
Daryl's kids holding up a sign saying, "Go, Daryl."
This is into the off ramp here, lap 6. I'm still chasing Daryl. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. This race was at 9:45 in the morning, very early, because it was 90 degrees already. By afternoon, it was up to 104. So none of us minded getting up a little early to run the cooler temps. let those two clips run with the native audio just so you could hear it for a second. And as you can see, we're starting the 7th lap, not 6th like it says. And you can see I'm right behind Daryl and Brenda's right behind me. I think this is either this lap or the next is when Daryl and I almost get into it each other, and Brenda decides he's going to back off and race another day. So picking up on the 7th lap again here at Phil Hill, kind of right behind Daryl, and at this point I'm fairly close and putting some pressure on him and thinking he'll probably make a mistake, but Daryl was having his trouble with Riverside, but he did a really good job today of holding up under pressure. This is really the first time he's been in front of me like this for this long, and had me breathing down his neck for this long. So he did quite well. Congratulations there, Daryl. Let's see. This is the final turn, Sunset, and onto the front straight here. I don't think I have an external clip here for you, so I'm just going to keep talking. Yeah, here we go. And turn 1, sunrise, of course, down into the off-ramp. And I don't have a whole lot to say, so I'm going to switch this back to native audio for a few minutes. I have another map of the track coming up, and I'll jump in there and we'll talk about that again. Daryl, I hadn't realized I'd gotten so close behind him, beside him there, and he came over pretty quick. I waved at the flag stand. I think that's when Horinda decided he was going to back off and just get away from us, let us have our race, and he'd worry about Sunday. And this is the final section of the track here, coming up to Sunset again, and we'll pick up on the front straight. But again, I see I don't have a video clip of the front straight, so I'll keep narrating here. Somebody was off there in the dirt flying, I don't know who that was. Halfway decent laps, 142, 143. It was so hot, the track, and get greasy. Get the tires up to temperature, the car would start feeling good, and then it felt like the tires were over temp and just sliding all over the place. It was a pretty good weekend, though, all in all. Nothing else to say for a minute. Quick glimpse at the track map again, and as I think I mentioned, Daryl was doing pretty good most of the track. Just up in Riverside he was getting a little wide, and that was messing him all up. Ninth lap it says here, and I'm right behind him, as you can see. And I think at this point, Horrendous decided he's out of there. He's getting away from us. So 10th lap, starting here. I think we're going to pick up some traffic in a minute, some lap traffic, a couple of cars that were, yeah, there he is right there. It's a Formula Mazda, and they don't have quite the speed on this track. Formula, don't even get into that. There's so many damn different flavors of these open wheel cars, it's crazy, isn't it? And I think I actually kind of get held up here behind him. That gives Daryl a little gap, gives him a little breathing room for a minute, but then I'll catch right back up to him. And then I think the same thing happens with another one. Yeah, that's the black and white. I think there's a black one, solid black car that come up to you, and then a yellow one as well. Actually, passing that traffic worked out fine. I'm right behind Daryl. I didn't lose any ground at all. It's the next black traffic that comes up. And so here I'm just following Daryl down into the sweeper again, down at the final turns before we hit the S's and come back into the last turn, Sunrise. And I'm really at this point figuring Daryl's getting a little tired. I'm pressuring him. I start to pick up my laps. I think I have my fastest one here in the next couple laps, and figure I'll pressure him into mistakes. But again, to his credit, never one bad enough to let me by. There's Miranda again. I guess he hadn't got scared of us yet. Clip for Daryl to study there. As you can see, he's getting a pretty good gap on me, actually coming out of the twisty bits. But on Riverside, you can see from the external shot, and then right there that he was just getting too wide out there. It's an easy thing to fix, and I might have trouble keeping up with him next time. Tomorrow, Sunday, I put on a little better tires, and I'll qualify him, and so we won't see quite as much of him, but it's coming on. Car off track there to the left. That's how we ended up 6th and 7th. I don't know what they were doing up there, but there were about 3 or 4 cars that, quote, disappeared. Coming up on some more traffic here in a second, I think. Again, I have to congratulate Daryl for holding up under the pressure there late in the race. I was breathing down his neck, as you saw from that external shot. Good job. Having some fun though, chasing him, getting to watch him a lot, obviously, and of course filled him with all kinds of free advice when we got finished here. And you know what free advice is worth. Yeah, as you can probably see there in the exterior shot, I did get held up a little bit by the traffic here. I probably could have shot on through there, but I don't think he realized I was there. And No point in risking it late in the race. Not too worried about it anyway. He pulls over and lets me by right here, and if I recall correctly, I think I can catch back up to Daryl pretty quickly here. I think we'll do some more native audio and see what happens. So you can see Daryl's running into some more traffic, and that of course helps me catch up to him. And I think I passed this traffic without any real interference and catch him in a good spot here, maybe. Although it doesn't look too good right here. It's like we're riding cotton corners. Yeah, I have to wait on him here, but it's okay. This is the quickest part of the track for me today here down the back straight here and around Riverside, so I'm pretty confident I'll catch Daryl up again. So I think we'll go back into watch mode for a few minutes. I guess I should thank the traffic for making me fall back there, because that was my fastest lap after I got by him. So I was, again, feeling pretty good about myself and the car. The tires were pretty old, pretty ragged. I had flat spotted the heck out of them in turn 2 down in Laguna Seca, down in the Andretti hairpin. So I wasn't real confident about trying to ram the car up next to Daryl and slam on the brakes. And so, but what? Watch what you're doing, Robert. This is, I think, next to last lap here. This is a good point too to thank Daryl. He lets me use some of his older used tires. I think the set from a couple of weeks ago at Laguna Seca that he didn't tear up as badly, I used those in the next race. And so tomorrow morning qualifying, I set some 142 flats, I believe, and I think I start in front of them tomorrow. But we'll cover that in the next video. It's not near as interesting as this one. Oh, look at that. Yeah, scaring Daryl a little there. But just too risky, particularly just too risky to go down there. Got another day to race. Who cares? We're having fun. This is a good point also to thank Bob, our mechanic, for keeping me on old tires for the whole weekend here. Saved me a lot of money. Probably one of the cheapest race weekends I've had in a long time. All right, Daryl, here I come. Get ready. All right. As you can see, I'm right behind Daryl, and I'm thinking he's going to crack under the pressure, but again, congratulations to him. He did a real good job holding up under it. And I probably mentioned earlier, but he hadn't been in front of me a lot, so this is really his first time having a race like this, and it is quite different when you're in the lead. I think this is a future PFM guy, another Pro Formula Mazda guy in a week or two, Tom Wee. hope I pronounced that right, that we're passing here. Hey, Tom, see you in your Pro Formula Mazda next month or whenever, barring virus issues. Lost a little ground, but not much to Daryl here, but race is pretty much over at this point. We're cruising in from here on. Daryl, get back down. Oh, jeez. I thought sure Daryl was going off track there at that time. Um, we talked, and on Sunday he did a lot better. He's going to be 2 seconds a lap faster just by not getting out there in the marble area of Riverside. This is, I think, final lap. We're coming down into Sunset, go back up through the Aces and take the checkered flag, and we'll do the rest of this on the that's it for Saturday. Race 1, I finished 7th, Daryl 6th. Good job. And thanks a lot to Bob and Lenny for, as usual, taking such good care of us. Sherry, Bob's wife, was there, Carrie Ann, and thanks for the heat was something else in the afternoon. Thanks for putting up with that. And thanks to CalClub for putting on the race with all the COVID complications.